you are a parent, bet me this topic is very important because we tend to have this challenge managing the resistance that our children develop as they are growing up. You know, sometimes the only voice, the only language that we parents have is to say that they are stubborn. Last week, I was taking a stroll with my 4 kids, and I ran into another parent who was with his beautiful daughter. So we moved into the same elevator. This guy was looking at me, looking at the kids. I was imagining why he was looking at me that way. You know, so as the elevator opened and we stepped out, the guy spoke out loudly. He said, wow, he is managing 4, but look at me, only this one is giving me a hell of trouble. I busted into loud laughter. But this made me to start thinking what parents are going through when it comes to managing our children's resistance. And this is why I want to ask you this question. What do you think is happening? Why do you think your children are becoming resistant? Do you think they were born to be stubborn? Or do you think they develop difficult relationship as they are growing up in our house? I think the second is the case. So if our children begin to develop difficult relationship with us, it means that the stubbornness is not living in them, but rather living between us and them. So this is to say that what we are seeing developing in our eyes is relationship problem. And this is why in today's episode, I am going to show you 5 strategies you can use as a parent to reduce this resistance that we'll call stubbornness. So let us step into it. Number 1, stop calling your child stubborn. You know, this might sound cliche, but let me demonstrate to you how important this is. You know, let's say you ask your child today, hey, baby girl, go tidy up your room, and the child says no. You know, something like that. And you maybe get angry and say, are you talking to me like that? Maybe tomorrow you send them, go do this, and they said no. Then you end up saying, yeah, you are stubborn. The next day, you are stubborn. Then the uncle visits, oh, that is the stubborn one. Grandma visits, everyone like, oh, he is the stubborn one. Guess what? It is like the whole family, they are having a board meeting to colonize this one as the director general of stubbornness of our family. But guess what? There was an exciting and powerful study that was done by Lemert and Becker. So this study is known as labyrinth theory. Very powerful, very notable among sociologists and psychologists. So what these guys say is this: when we consistently give a person or a child a particular label, over time, that label will begin to influence the way the person or the child see themselves, that they will eventually adopt the label as a lifestyle. This is interesting, Lamert and Becker. So what they're actually saying is that when you call your child stubborn or lazy, after some time, it will form the way they see themselves, and they will begin to form their identity based on this label that you have given them. You know, as a psychotherapist in therapy room, this is so exciting when I see this. You ask this one, Oh, he might tell you, I am the black sheep of the family. I said, okay, where did you hear this word the first time? They will usually keep quiet and say, okay, yeah, my father, or my mother. Yeah, they felt that I'm the black sheep of the family. It's not that I did anything. It's just that I chose what I wanted and they didn't like it. So, after some time, it is either they disown you or you disown them. So the relationship tends to get more difficult when you give this label to your child because you are frustrated. So the point is, does it mean that I am not going to give my child instruction or correct my child when they do something that is not good? No. What I am saying is that there is a difference between correcting behavior and naming your child after the behavior. I will say it again. There is a difference between correcting a behavior and naming your child after the behavior. So when you say you are stubborn, you are lazy, what it means is that you are naming your child after the behavior, and the child will tend to adopt this as a way of life if care is not taken. So what can you do in a situation like this? If they resist what you are asking them to do, what you can say is like this. I can say that you strongly disagree with what I am saying or what I'm asking you to do. Can you help me understand why? This pattern of communication will always trigger conversation. You can begin to have conversation with the child, which will strengthen the relationship that you hold with that child. But when you say you are stubborn or you are lazy, it will always trigger resistance and trigger resistance the more. This is why you need to change the way you communicate and play it like a game. Use a statement that will trigger conversation and not the one that will trigger a World War III in your own home. Do you understand? Okay. Number 2, don't confuse obedience with character. This is one of those points you need to listen to 2 times before maybe you understand it. You see that if sometimes many parents dream of having a child who never says no, a child who always says yes daddy, yes mommy, who never disagrees, who never questions authority. And that is the dream of many parents. Guess what? One day, when they are maybe 17, the child will face another of his friend who will give him or her drugs. And you will hope that the child says no. That same child will face friends who want to pressure them into doing something bad. And you really hope that they know how to say no. Guess what? For 18 years, you have been training them to be good and obedient children that never says no. So, parents, listen. Your goal should not be to raise a child who only knows how to obey. Your goal should as well be to raise a child who knows when not to obey. This is very, very important. So we must teach them how to disagree respectfully, how to say no respectfully, how to challenge or disagree with authorities respectfully. Because when your child grows, the greatest battle your child will face is not you. The greatest battle your child will face will be facing the world. And there is a lot of pressure in the world. So if you do not learn how to raise a child that will become a wise adult, you may have trained them to always obey, to always say yes. You beat them when they disagree, when they question you. You may be destroying their will. And your goal as a parent is to train the will of the child and not destroy it. But what many parents do is to bend the will, to destroy the will. Every child will need a strong will to stand strong in the world that we are living today. So parents, learn how to help them disagree respectfully. So if they question you, bring conversation into it and discuss with them. Discuss with them. By the time you begin to discuss, your goal will be to convince them. I was discussing with my boss. We are talking about how to reach out to our clients, So, and he told me, Benny, I don't like clients that always say yes. What are you actually saying? He said, listen, I don't like clients that easily say yes or easily say no. I don't like them. I like clients that want me to convince them. Because if you can convince them, they will be more loyal to your product than if they would say yes so easily. Maybe they will start, but they will quit. Maybe they make up their mind now, but they will leave very soon. The same way they say yes is the same way they will leave. The same idea can also be brought into parenting. Your goal should be to convince your child that your way of life is better, that the God you serve is better for them. So your goal is to convince them and not to bend their will. Because if you bend their will, yes, you might succeed because they are little. But the moment they leave you, they will still go back to do what they really want to do. So, but your goal should be to talk with them, to convince them, to make them see light. If you can achieve that, they will become wiser adults. They will become children that will grow into wiser adults. And that should be the greatest desire of every parent. Do you get this? Number 3, stop making everything an order. Stop making everything an order. Imagine you in your company where you work. Imagine your boss talking to you like this. Hey, madam, sit down, stand up, or go eat, go do that. No explanation, because I'm saying it, do it. Do that, sit down. Imagine your boss talking to you like this every day you go to work. You will say, this man, are you a witch? But the truth is that this is how many parents communicate to their children from morning till bedtime, every day. Command, as if they are in a military training. This is not helping the child at all. There are these psychologists that carried out this research. One of his name is Edmund Deci and Richard Ryan. So they carried out a powerful research which they called self-determination theory. The word self-determination. That when a group of people in a country want to seek independence, what they start doing is they begin to activate this law of self-determination. We want to have independence. Your child also has this innate ability to seek for independence. So Deci and Ryan, they discovered that every child has this innate desire for autonomy, for competence, and for relatedness. What this means is that the child wants to have some ownership of his choices, want to know that he is competent to do what he wants to do. A child wants to know that he or she belongs. I am part of this circle, I am part of this family, so I have rights. So when this happens, your child is communicating these 3 things to you. I have rights to own some choices. I have rights to do some things. I have rights to belong to this family. So this is self-determination theory by Deci and Ryan. So what this is telling us is that as a parent, there's a need for you to learn how to give your children structured choices in a boundary. What do I mean by that? So let's say, for instance, you want to send your teenage boy to go to the market to buy some things for you. And you know that these days, children, they may not want to go because they are busy with their phones, they are playing some games, they are enjoying themselves, having some fun. And hey, you are tired, you want them to go to the market, get you some things. So if you learn that as a parent, of course, you have the power to give instruction, you have the power to send them on an errand, but you have to learn how to give that structured choices inside a boundary. For instance, you can say, hey, Jack or Lucas or whatever you call him, hey, I want you to go to the market. Do you prefer to go to the market 2 times or once? Of course, the child will say, I want to go only once. He say, fine. If you want to go only once, now I want you to get pen and paper. Come, let's make a list of what you are going to get. Make sure that you write everything. Okay, this. So when you get to the market, buy this from number 1 to number 2 to number 5. And before you leave the market, cross-check to make sure that everything that is on this list is already in your bag. This is what will make you go to the market once. Okay? There is a tendency the child will comply because you've given the child a choice. You've already told the child that if you come and you don't have everything, you're going to go again. So to make sure that you're only going to go once, this is how to achieve it. So there's a high tendency that the child will comply and have everything that you want all got from the market. Secondly, you want to go somewhere with your children. So instead of commanding them, oh, you wear this one. Okay, you wear this one. Give them choices in a boundary. Would you want to wear blue shirt or white shirt? So the child will have a choice. Okay, I will wear blue shirt. For you, it's not a problem if they wear white or blue. But when you command them, you wear this blue shirt. The child might say, no, I don't want to wear blue shirt. I want to wear white. And a fight will just start. But if you as a parent will learn how to understand that every child have a need for autonomy, for competence and ratedness, they want to declare that they have some rights. And the truth is that they do. So learn to give them these choices when you are asking them to do something. You will increase the chances of compliance, of helping them do what you want them to do while themselves are having some ownership of these choices. It will help to reduce, resistance and resist this thing that we call stubbornness. Number 4, stop listening only to reply. What I mean is that most times many parents are so busy, we live in our own world and we find it very difficult to understand our children. So we see this kind of drama almost every night, especially in summer when you want the children to go to bed. They say things like, hey baby girl, it's time to go to bed. They say, no, I am not tired. Daddy, I am not tired, yeah? I don't want to go to bed. So, the way many parents handle this is by command. You don't want to understand why your child is saying, I don't want to go to bed. And you want to push, you want to command, you want the child to go to bed so that your own wish will be accomplished without you understanding the idea behind the resistance the child is demonstrating. So what are you supposed to do? What is the strategy how to talk to a child in that kind of situation? What the child really seeks is understanding. And it is important that you can actually understand someone's feeling without agreeing with their behavior. You can understand someone's feelings without agreeing with their behavior. This is the principle here. So what you can actually do is that, here, baby girl, I understand that you don't want to go to bed. I understand that you are having fun and you don't want today to end. But the truth is that your brain wants to rest, because if you do not rest well, you are going to go to school tomorrow and you might be tired. So this is why I want you to go to bed now. You see what changed? Bedtime remains. You are bringing understanding and the same boundary remains. But this time, you are not commanding. You are trying to help the child know that you understood what is happening. You're understanding what the child is feeling without you agreeing that the child should stay longer watching television or playing games or whatever it is. So our goal as parents is not just to listen, just to reply how we want to. We must bring understanding. This is very, very important as we are raising these champions. Does this make sense? Finally, number 5 is fight the problem and not the child. This one is very important because sometimes your child starts facing a problem. It might actually be your child is not good in mathematics, your child is not good in languages, or whatever it is. Your child is facing a problem in school, in life, or whatever the problem might be. When this kind of thing happens, a dynamic is created. The child versus the problem. Sometimes the way many parents handle this is they allow this problem to also create my child versus me. So you see, my child is fighting against me because I do not understand what the child is facing. And you have the child versus the problem, the child versus me. So 2 battlefields are created, all of them targeting the child. At this kind of battlefields, the child will be wondering, are my parents against me? How come they are not understanding what I'm facing? So parents, I want you to pay attention. Your child should never come to a point where they begin to wonder, are my parents against me? This is the question that many teenagers are having in their mind because of how their parents are attacking them when they are facing this kind of problems. So your child should come to a point where they know that my parents might disagree with me, my parents might discipline me, but I know that my parents are by my side. This is the goal every parent must reach. So it should be my child and me versus the problem. So for that to happen, I need to bring my child closer to me and say, okay, I understand that this is happening. So help me understand what the problem is. Help me understand what you are facing. Because the truth is that the problem may not just be only laziness. Maybe your child is facing anxiety disorder. Maybe your child is facing ADHD. Maybe your child is facing bullying. Maybe it's facing different kind of thing, but maybe you do not understand this as a parent. So what I want you to do is to become more curious. Because sometimes curiosity discovers what accusation hides. Curiosity discovers what accusation hides. Sometimes you accuse the child and the child withdraws. But if you become curious, curiosity might reveal what the bigger problem is. And if you help your child, bringing him closer or bringing her closer, for your child to know that, hey, we are together in this. Let us defeat that problem together. You must have won your child. Because if you continue to allow these dynamics, your child against the problem and you against your child, this is the kind of disconnection that will make you lose your child. Does this make sense? And finally, my people, it has been a wonderful journey, right? So next time you want to call your child stubborn, I want you to stop and ask a better question. Ask a question like, why is my child resisting me? Maybe my child needs a voice. Maybe my child needs some boundary. Maybe my child needs some autonomy. Maybe my child needs some understanding. Maybe my child needs to know that I am by his or her side. See, if you want to discipline your child, yes, you can discipline your child. You can create boundaries. You can do all those things. But never, never break the very will they need to survive adulthood. Never break the very will they need to stand strong as responsible adults. I want you to, from today, start raising an allies and not opponents. Stop making your children to become your enemies. Bring them closer and let them be your friends. I will come your way next week. If you find any value in this video, I want you to place a like, subscribe to this channel for more. Share with your other parents and all your friends. They need to know what you know. And I will see you next week.